Hello Scorpio, so I'm doing your bonus weekly tarot for July the 12th to the 19th. As always, there are going to be timestamps in my description box below, just in case you feel like some of these oracle decks are not quite resonating with you this week, okay? Right, so you have got the Crow and Transition, and this one says which part of your life is or may be going through a transition. Maybe you're changing relationships, careers, or cities. Whatever it is, the Crow is signaling that you're ready to make the change, okay? So yeah, I mean, it's quite appropriate for you, Scorpio. You are all about changes, transformation. Now, according to this energy, Scorpio, you're the one that is going to be making a lot of changes this week, okay? It could be changes to your routine. It could be changes within your home, according to how you live, like anything. The point being, you're the one that is in control of these changes. You're the one that is instigating these changes. So it's quite different from, let's say, the Tower, which typically is change that happens to you quite unexpectedly, and therefore it feels really chaotic and disastrous, okay? That's not this energy. This is saying, Scorpio, you're the one that's instigating the changes. You're the one that is the driving force here. So this points towards you being unhappy about the way things are for a while. And now this week, finally feeling like you have the energy, the drive, the passion, the inspiration to actually see to it that those positive changes take effect, okay? So you're the driving force behind this, rather than, you know, life throwing you curveballs the way that it does. I feel like you're throwing curveballs right back at life with this Crow energy. I absolutely love that, because there is definitely a cheeky, very, very cheeky vibe that's coming through with that one. Right, so let's take a look at your rune message. We'll also do you a healing crystal, the strongest energies, and of course the tarot itself with healing and guidance messages for you, okay? Right, nice. Huanyo. I love this one, Huanyo. So this one would be a blend of like the Six of Wands with maybe the Three of Cups and, ooh, yeah, I'd say the Nine of Cups as well in traditional tarot, okay? Huanyo indicates prosperity. You making these changes, because we're reading it within context, making these changes to open up the path for prosperity and abundance to come in. Now, those words, they mean lots of different things to lots of different people, okay? My version of abundance is going to look very, very differently from someone else's version of abundance. So my version is a cute little cottage out in the middle of nowhere, full of animals and where we can grow our own food, right? For me, that's abundance, okay? Your version of it might be something else entirely different. It could be sports car, millions in the bank, right? So you've got to keep it in perspective, because this is going to materialize in your personal lived experience much, much differently from another Scorpio, okay? Fun, joy, friendship, and rest is also associated with this Huanyo energy. It's all about that sense of belonging, fellowship, kindred spirits, okay? Feeling included, being successful, sharing that success with others where possible. It's good times, good vibes, good people. Okay, and I feel that you're making this your priority over the next week or so, Scorpio. And because you're going to be coming from this more optimistic yet laid back type vibe, I feel that that's exactly what you're going to be encouraging more of into your life. Okay, so of course, if you feel at the moment, oh well, you know, I'm not really feeling that right now, that's fine. You can harness the energy of this rune. You can trace it out on a bit of paper. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, because remember, it's all about your intent as you're drawing it out, and just keep it close to you. Okay, under your pillow, in your pocket, wherever, in your car, wherever. It's basically the letter P, but it's a pointed letter P. And that is going to help you to harness the more good vibes and the positivity. Okay, whatever else happens this week, Scorpio, whatever else comes out of your tarot, and of course we don't know what's going to come out of it yet, they're saying here to try and focus on the positive, and to remember that you are actually in the driver's seat of these changes that are going on. Okay, right, so nope, that's not going to go. I've still not fixed that yet. I will get round to it eventually. Right, let's get you a healing crystal. I'm not using my black healing crystal deck this week, because I am struggling pretty bad today with my hands, and I thought, as much as I love that deck, it's a bit awkward for me to use at the best of times when I am feeling good. I'm not really feeling great at the moment, so yeah, just play it safe with the good old Age of Crystals deck. So you have got rose quartz for your healing crystal this week, Scorpio. I will get a piece out for you. There it is. Of course, you all know what rose quartz looks like. I don't know if it'll actually sit on this bit of wood platform that I made. Probably not. Oh yeah, it will. Okay, right, so let's pop it there for you, just in case you don't have any to hand. Okay, then you can just focus on that crystal throughout the rest of your reading. Right, so rose quartz, self-love, more love to come into your life, self-acceptance also. Kindness is a very gentle energy, a heavy focus on self-love and self-acceptance, but it is known to encourage love, compassion, maybe even sympathy as well from others to you, okay, depending on what it is that you need. Right, so it says rose quartz is love in rock form. Who needs it? The overly self-critical. Boom, there it is. Sentient spiritual beings who love deeply, those in the healing arts, or those who want to be. Okay, so if you consider yourself a healer or very, very spiritual, or if you find that a lot of people are coming at you at the moment, Scorpio, I got a problem with this, I got a problem with that. Oh, what's your opinion of this? What's your opinion of that? Other people's voices drowning out your own, okay? You feeling like you have to fix the world's problems, but that's fucking impossible. You're not going to be able to. Rose quartz. Rose quartz is going to be your best friend this week. Where to put it? In spaces that you want to zone as safe and sacred, held with both hands to your heart with the utmost loving kindness. When to use it? When you feel like you always have to be the one to have it figured out, to work the hardest, to hold it all together for everyone else. Rose quartz gives us a pink cashmere covered platform to be soft, sweet and open to spirits, okay? And then your affirmation here is to take care of your heart. So basically everything that I told you before I actually read the card, Scorpio. There's no point me breaking it down any further, because I broke it down before I read it. So there you go, rose quartz. Absolutely beautiful stone, with beautiful intent. I really need to fix that stand. It was my bad. When I initially cut it, I cut it at an angle instead of it being straight across. So now every time I put a card in there, it naturally just wants to flop at an angle. Okay. Anyway, right, let's take a look at some messages that Spirit is wanting to discuss with you this week. What have you got for Scorpio, please, for July the 12th? Oh, we're taking those, the 12th to the 19th. Oh, nice. Celebration and sweetness. Okay, set clear boundaries with the sweetness of the strawberry and enjoy your victories with others with the celebration. Is that, or is that not Huanyo energy? I'd say it is. I'd say it is, definitely. Okay, so for the past couple of weeks, Scorpio, we have been getting out messages for you guys where it was saying, you know, you're probably best off not saying anything right now. You're going to have to wait. No. There's someone watching. They've got a bit of green-eyed envy. Don't provoke. No. Right. We've had that for a couple of weeks. Okay. So this week it's saying, yes, share your good news with others. Share your victories with others. Okay. So this is the week, Scorpio. This is the week for you to be making those grand announcements. This is the week for you to be setting your clear boundaries, okay? We are going to find out more about that in just a minute. I just need to actually pull some cards for you because those cards came out before we were actually ready for them to... Oh, abundance. It just keeps getting better and better. Financial security and material gains with thoughts. Cultivate your ideas, Scorpio. This is going to be the week for you to be putting your creativity into action, okay? Your creativity is all good and well being in your head, but it's also not going to do much benefit if it's still just in your head, okay? Your ideas, what it is that inspires you, pursue that. There's something very important there, and it very, very likely is going to see you with a lot of material gains. Okay, so this is you monetizing a creative idea that you had. Now, obviously, I know not everything needs to be monetized all of the time, right? I get it. We've also got to read within context, though, Scorpio. And your tarot reading is saying, Scorpio, that idea that you have, that creative idea that you have, that creative impulse that you have, you've got to follow that further because there's a future there for you. There definitely is. The way that you're able to convey your ideas to the rest of the world in such a way that is very, very different from the way that everyone else does things, that's going to help you stand out from the crowd, right? It might require you, you know, putting yourself out there, putting yourself on display or your work on display or whatever, anything like that. That can absolutely be nerve-wracking. However, the benefits far outweigh the risks, okay? Look at the messages here, Scorpio. You've got everything lined up for you. Now this is just a matter of you applying yourself in whichever way you deem necessary, so that you can cultivate this growth, abundance, positivity, okay? Massive improvements to your quality of life as well with this sweetness and celebration. I feel, for the most part, you're actually really, really going to enjoy this week, Scorpio. Alignment. You can do hard things, yeah. Being in alignment with your true purpose, with your true nature. Scorpio, you've never been one to shy away from hard work, right? And here's what I've found with Scorpio energy. I find that Scorpios often work harder and faster than pretty much anybody. Because we have to. We have to. And then that becomes our baseline. It becomes our norm. So that's why hard work doesn't faze you at all, Scorpio. You're not one that is afraid to get your hands dirty at all. And I don't mean that in the malicious way, right? It means you're not afraid of hard work. Like you are the one typically that's going to have soil and stuff stuck under your nails. You are the one that's going to have paint splatters all up your arms, right? You are the one that's going to have hardly any fingerprints left through arts, craft, fixing things, making things, right? Scorpio, you are a lot more tactile than what other people would assume you to be, okay? So you're not afraid of the hard work. You can do the hard things. And this one's saying that, oh, also number 3, 33, 43, 23. You got 48 and 17. It's the 3s that are being highlighted. So sorry about that, Scorpio. I got cut off there by realizing the number 3. You are in alignment with abundance, most definitely, or what your version of abundance looks like. Okay, most definitely. This is the week where you're putting the movement behind that. Okay, this is the week where you are following that path towards said abundance. Okay, so let's take a deeper dive into this one for you. The number 3s, just to go back to that point, is co-creating with others, co-creating with the universe, and definitely is being in alignment. For some, 3 is a very lucky number indeed, okay? 3s can typically also indicate that the energy around you, the situations around you, the environment in general is very, very changeable. Okay, so it's the optimum time basically for you to be initiating the changes that you're wanting to see this week. Okay. Yeah, so can you tell us more about this energy? What is this sweetness for Scorpio, please? Oh, interesting. The Hermit. The Hermit is self-expression. This can be a very quiet energy also. Very thoughtful. Yeah, I do feel that you are in thought mode. At least, like right now. Right now, you're in thought mode. Starting sort of, I would say, what day is this now? Sunday. Not Monday, that feels a bit too soon. I would say Wednesday, Thursday is where you're going to genuinely feel, right, I've got to get this done, I've got to get that done. And the nice thing here, Scorpio, is you're not going to feel exhausted doing it all. Yeah. There is this sense of excitement and wonder that's coming through. I love that. The 6 of Swords and the Empress, like literally we're on about making things, we're on about creation, right? We're on about abundance and fertility, and you're getting the friggin' Empress coming out. It's literally the physical embodiment of all of the energies that we've already seen in these oracle cards, actually, right? It is sweetness, it is clear boundaries, it is celebration, it is victories, it is growth, abundance, it is financial security, it is material gains, right? It is somebody, you, Scorpio, cultivating your ideas, right? It is the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. It is being in alignment. Like, Empress energy is these 5 cards here in one embodiment. Okay. So with the 6 of Swords being here, this is a message of comfort. This is a message of you have to keep going. This is saying that things are about to get a lot easier for you, Scorpio. Okay, because 6 of Swords is leaving the hard times behind. Okay, it is saying the struggles are over. So at the moment, deep in thought, thinking, when am I going to get my break? When am I going to start seeing results? When this, when that, right? Which are all perfectly normal questions to be asking. We all ask ourselves these things. I've put in the work. Where is it? Where's the reward? When does shit get easier? When am I going to get a break? Right? We've all done it. We've all asked it. And the message is saying, it's now. Like, literally, it is now. In the meanwhile, as soon as you feel energetic enough, as soon as you feel like you're no longer drawing a blank, right? As soon as you feel like you genuinely have that wee bit of extra energy to spare, which, as I've already said, will be around about Wednesday, Thursday this week, you're going to be at it full fucking pelt, Scorpio, but you're going to be enjoying every moment of it, okay? Empress energy, again, doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. It's not saying anything about someone's actual gender, okay? It's just energy. It's indicating, usually, someone who is working towards a purpose. Could be self-employed, could be thinking about being self-employed, either or. It is someone who is massively, massively independent, okay? It's about efficiency also, Scorpio. It's that being creative and being efficient with it so that you're actually accumulating something in return, okay? The Empress energy, if you imagine your garden, the Empress energy will clock, let's say, a sickly apple tree, right? And they'll be like that, okay, I've got to help out this tree. It's struggling, it's browning, leaves are curling, it's not looking good. So the Empress energy will do what they can, but as soon as they realize, okay, that's not working, this tree is only fit for compost now, they're not going to continue to try and nurture that tree because they know, it's a done deal now. I've done what I can, realistically, because this message here is also saying recognize when it is the right time to move on. Okay, that plays into this message of efficiency. You see how it's all tied in? Okay, so your boundaries, which this sweetness card mentions, your boundaries are to do with recognizing when something is no longer, let's say what it is, worth your time. Recognizing when something metaphorically needs to go to compost now. It's got a different use. It's going to serve a different purpose. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, your boundaries can be really, really good for that. Right, what is this celebration for Scorpio, please? What is this celebration Enjoy your victories. Okay, the Three of Wands. Now, initially it was not as scattered energy, right? It finally settled into being scattered energy, which tells me that somewhere along the line, Scorpio, your plans are likely going to change ever so slightly. Okay, this one is all about adapting. Now, it's possible that you have already recently had to adapt to a new situation, a new set of circumstances, right? But because you adapted so effectively and efficiently, you're being guaranteed here a successful outcome. So that is connected to the celebration, and specifically the celebration that you share with others. Okay, Nine of Pentacles. This one's come out ever so slightly off balance. Okay, ever so slightly. There could be a huge financial decision that you're trying to make this week, Scorpio. Okay, and actually, yes, other people, like your close-knit people, they are going to offer you very, very valuable resources or insight into how you can make the most of this financial decision here, okay? Because whenever you see this card of independence that comes out, squiffy, pay close attention to the context, okay? I mean, you should be paying attention to the context anyway. But it indicates, for the most part, you are doing this by yourself, okay? So the fact that you're either getting help from others or asking for help from others, it doesn't negate the fact that you are still actually an independent individual, that you are still very successful in your own right, okay? It doesn't negate any of that. Eight of Swords, this one is also not entirely in the upright position, okay? It's ever so slightly off. You could be overthinking something this week, Scorpio, okay? So your message here is for you to keep it simple. Yes, absolutely. Do get the valuable insights and valuable opinions of others. Of course, those that you trust and that you know are trustworthy and that you know have got your back, right? Of course, not everybody's got good intentions, but that's not what this week's reading is about, thankfully. Okay, just avoid overthinking it. Okay, I'm also getting a message here of mental overstimulation. Okay, so at some point during this week, Scorpio, you are likely going to feel it necessary just to have a couple of hours in your own company, in your own space, okay? Which again is absolutely fine. Just give yourself that time and space that you need. For your abundance, you've got the Two of Wands, so it's decision-making time, basically. Financial security and material gains, you're making a long-term decision this week that does affect your finances, okay? And then you've got the King of Swords energy, which is strategy. Right, so we need to find out more about this strategy for you. What is this strategy for Scorpio's finances? Like the Emperor. So you've got the Empress and the Emperor energy out in the same read. That's actually quite rare. It is. It's quite rare for the Emperor and the Empress to come out in the same read as each other. You've also got the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of that deck. Okay, so yeah, a lot of finances here. They're saying, see with this heavy masculine energy, what they're saying with that is in terms of your finances, your career, your material gains, stuff like that, they're saying to tune in more into your inner masculine energy, which is making decisions that are practical, okay, and factual, rather than making emotional decisions. So, Scorpio, when it comes down to your finances this week, no emotionally led decisions, okay? Keep it clear, like crystal clear. Okay. For cultivate your ideas, let's see what it's saying to that. The Seven of Wands. That's interesting, Scorpio, because the Seven of Wands can often indicate mounting a defense, okay? Someone standing up for themselves. Potentially, you might be met with a little bit of resistance when it comes down to you cultivating your ideas. Page of Pentacles and the Lovers, likely because this other individual might not know enough about what it is that you're trying to achieve, what it is that you're trying to create here. And so it's creating a bit of a misunderstanding where you feel like you're having to argue your case to them. Okay. Yeah, let's find out more about that one. Can you tell us more about this misunderstanding? Yeah, see, Seven of Swords reversed. So in this context, it's definitely a misunderstanding. Okay. I don't know if it's like, if this is you trying to explain to a significant other person in your life what your plans are, what your ideas are. At the moment of you trying to explain it, they're not hearing the words that are actually coming out of your mouth. They're hearing something else, something different, something that you're not actually saying, okay? So there is a misunderstanding here. Honestly, I feel like that one can be cleared up really, really quickly, okay? They're also saying for you to stand by what it is that you say as well, okay? Yeah, see, strength off balance. You could be dealing with a Leo. You've got Gemini here also. Okay. I mean, realistically, they could be anyone, right? That's just the energies. I know some people like to hear the Zodiacs being shouted out. It's showing that someone is afraid, right? But it's not, oh, this person's afraid of you. It's someone being afraid of failure. Okay, now that could be you. Or that could be this other person that you're feeling like you have to, you know, put your case forward with them with. Okay, somebody is going to be afraid. They're going to be afraid of what it is that they hear. I don't know why that would be. It could be, Scorpio, that perhaps this other individual, that either you're wanting to bring them on board with your ideas here, or, you know, you're offering them like a job or something like that. Their fear stems from this lack of understanding or this misunderstanding. Okay. So I'm under the impression that actually, in order for you to cultivate your ideas and to get help with that, which I suspect that you're going to be needing others on board with you, I suspect that a crystal clear conversation is going to demystify the entire process for this other person. And at that point, they will be more inclined to get on board, right, with your ideas and to help you out that way. I mean, this could also be a younger Earth sign as well, specifically a Taurus. It could be, but again, doesn't have to be. But it purely is stemming from lack of understanding. Okay. So with your gentle powers of persuasion, you're going to be able to get this other person that you're trying to communicate with or that you're trying to negotiate with the gentle powers of persuasion, you can get them to understand exactly what your plans are, exactly what you intend to do. And then they'll feel, you know, like they're coming from a much stronger position, basically, to be able to help you out. Okay, that's why you got the Lovers here as well as partnership. I know sometimes it can be a choice, right? It's not coming out as that this week, though. It isn't. This is putting emphasis on that partnership energy. Okay. Yeah, so can you tell us more about alignment for Scorpio, please? What is this alignment? Oh, okay. The Ten of Wands. Yeah, you can do the hard things. Scorpio, I feel like you've already put in the graft. You've already been, like, you have been doing the work. And you're continuing to do the work. The only, I mean, I say the only major difference. The major difference this week, though, Scorpio, is you're genuinely enjoying the process this week. Okay, because something's about to happen here that really does put everything into perspective for you. Okay, Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, Eight of Wands, Four of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Okay, it's kind of like it's asking, what happens next? What happens next? Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles to the Knight of Wands. Those two are a stark contrast to each other. They really, really are. The Four of Pentacles is someone who is very, very careful. It's conserving your energy. It's definitely not a risk taker. Right? A stark contrast to the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a risk taker. Knight of Wands is someone who typically acts on impulse or wants to do something impulsively, right? You know what I'm seeing with this one, Scorpio? And it sounds a bit weird. You can do the hard things and alignment. There's a message here about opposites attract. Opposites attract. So I need to find out more about that. They're also indicating that it's safe for you to allow yourself to just have a little bit of fun. Okay. Because this combination is saying, Scorpio, like, you can't be serious all of the time. And that's fucking exhausting. Okay. This is going to be the week for you to just chill, relax, for you to just do what you want. Okay. Yeah, to do something impulsively, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others, of course. It goes without saying, right? But this is going to be the week for you to just really kind of let yourself go a bit, right? I'm going to take a deeper dive into these two in just a minute, but for the time being, I want to clarify that message there. Right, what was that message about opposites attract for Scorpio? The Sun, that one's a little bit off balance. You know what I think this is, Scorpio? I think that this is you doing something completely unexpected, completely different. You're about to start something very, very important that's going to give you this entire new lease of life. And somebody, either you or someone around you, doesn't quite know what to make of that, doesn't quite know what to do with that. Okay. It could also indicate that you might be afraid of having maybe too much fun. Did things get too serious for you, Scorpio, for too long? And you sort of lost that sense of fun and adventure? Because if you have, you're definitely rediscovering that side of yourself this week. I mean, it happens, right? The responsibilities of life take over, right? So yeah, getting back in touch with that lost part of yourself. What's this 8 of Wands? Thank you. Oh, look, 4 of Pentacles again. 4 of Pentacles reversed with Justice off balance. Okay. 4 of Pentacles reversed can imply somebody maybe dipping into their savings, right? That doesn't have to be literal. Not at all. If you're normally a very, very quiet and reserved individual, Scorpio, then this week you're going to definitely feel a lot more confident, enthusiastic, and definitely a lot more outspoken. And these are the qualities that are helping you to implement the important changes that you have been wanting to make in your life for quite a while. All right? With Justice coming out here off balance, this could be several different things. So again, we need to clarify that one further. Okay. I am under the impression with this particular Justice that you're no longer putting up with bullshit. And I think that that's one of the major, major changes that you're making. Why is this Justice off balance for Scorpio? Thank you. 5 of Cups. Yeah. Yeah. You're no longer feeling like you're under any obligation to put up with 5 of Cups type energy. Okay. It's also possible that you've got either a Capricorn or a Libra. Could be Aries, Sagittarius also, who is potentially wanting to reconnect with you this week, Scorpio. Okay. Now, you might feel some kind of way about that with Justice coming out off balance. You might feel, or maybe this person genuinely was deeply unfair to you. Okay. That could still be a bit of a sore point here. So there is going to be a decision here for you to make with that as well, as long as you make that decision whilst you're entirely in alignment with your higher self. Okay, right. Strongest message for the week for you, Scorpio, is the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah. Keeping everything in balance. There's a nice flow to your energy this week, Scorpio. Okay. It feels like this week is not going to be much hassle for you at all, to be completely honest. I feel like a lot of things are getting resolved this week. I feel like I don't know, it's just the energy, it feels nice. Right? And the thing is as well, Scorpio, it also feels like it's long overdue. Okay. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Don't delay the inevitable. Yeah, so you're getting confirmation here. You're pushing yourself to exhaustion. Enjoy yourself in between all your hard work. Like literally. Literally, both of those messages came out of your tarot already. Which is kind of spooky given the fact that that is quite a huge oracle deck. And out of all of the messages within that Maruk deck, you got those two. I love it. I love when tarot works out that way. I just find it absolutely incredible. Right, what else for Scorpio, please? Thank you. Okay, a chapter in your life is coming to an end. And you know what chapter it is, Scorpio? That's coming to an end. Look at the rest of your cards. The chapter of struggle was coming to an end. Rest assured that beautiful things are ahead in this next chapter. Let go of all things that are out of control, out of your control, and move forward. There are more beautiful things ahead than any you leave behind. Okay? And I need you to get excited again. I need you to remember you're not in this thing alone. I'm working on your challenges. I've already assigned angels to you. So let go and the stress. I think they mean let go of the stress. And just trust me. I've got a pretty incredible ending in store. In fact, that's why you need to get excited again, because the happy ending I've got coming is going to rock your world. Okay, Scorpio? So literally confirmation after confirmation here. What else for Scorpio? Look. Look. Total bullshit. Turn around now, but wait for it. Ask yourself, is it worth the fucking effort? And you will fucking conquer this. That's in regards to the struggles that you're currently experiencing, that you're currently going through. Okay? So what is it that you're needing to turn around from? What is it that you're needing to surrender, release, let go of, and then start initiating these new positive changes? Yeah? Only you can answer that one for yourself, because of course everyone's situations are going to be different. But yeah, that is what I have for you today, Scorpio. I genuinely hope that that reading has been helpful. For personal reads with me, my website is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. If you stick around right until the very end, then YouTube is going to recommend for you 2 readings that you have definitely missed out on. So you might want to go check up on those ones and catch up with those readings. But yeah, for now, thank you very, very much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.